Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the Baker Act, and one of the things that we are seeing repeatedly is that families are being misled into thinking they can use the Baker Act to save their loved one. So let me give you the sort of fact pattern so you can sort of get where I'm going at with this. So we had a family that called us. They have I believe it was one of the adult children that called us about a parent. The parent is in their mid-50s and has a long history of mental health issues. It sounds like it was going back about 15, maybe even 20 years. And this individual had been Baker Acted multiple times, 4 or 5 times for an ongoing mental health issue. Now, as I have told you before, the Baker Act is not a treatment statute. It is not designed to treat anything. It is not your personal tool to get your loved one, okay? Once someone's Baker Acted, they become a temporary ward of the state. Their rights to make decisions for themselves, their right to self-determination is terminated. Your right as their spouse, their child, their parent, your right to make decisions for them is terminated. Long story short is that they are now in the hands of the state of Florida, and the state of Florida can do whatever they want with them. And so the idea that you could use the Baker Act to get your loved one is unfortunately is misinformation. And what I mean by that is not that you are doing something wrong intentionally. What I mean is that the families are being told that this is what they should do. Baker Act your loved one, Baker Act your loved one, Baker Act your loved one. Please stop Baker Acting your loved ones, unless, of course, it is an emergency and you would be willing to call 911, because that's what the Baker Act is designed for. When there's an emergency situation and we don't have time to run to the courthouse because somebody is in such crisis that we need help right now. And so what we're seeing is that families are Baker Acting their loved ones. And eventually what happens is that the state takes the position, you know, we've given you guys a long time to take care of this, and you didn't bother to do it. We don't know why. Frankly, we don't care. But now we're going to handle it. We're going to take care of it. And we may or may not give her back to you. But either way, if we do give her back to you, you won't like what you see because, well, we probably won't keep her that long because we couldn't milk the insurance for enough money. And so now she's going to come back to you in worse shape than she went. Or the other side of the coin when it comes to the Baker Act is we're going to get a court order and we're going to keep her potentially up to 6 months, and we're going to send her to a state hospital. And if you ever get her back, well, you won't like what you see, because as a general rule, the state does a really bad job of taking care of people, especially in Florida's mental health system. And so if you have somebody that is sick and has been for a long time, it is, and I say this with all love and respect, it is your responsibility to take care of that person. That person is your wife, your husband, your parent, your sibling, whoever it is your responsibility as the family to get them help. And I realize that resources may be limited, and I'm certainly happy to have a conversation with anybody about resources, albeit whether you have resources or you don't have resources. I have a ton of stuff on the website, this video content, the book. You can have it for free. I want you to have the information. But it is, at the end of the day, your responsibility to get your family member help, because if you don't, the state's going to do it for you, and it will be a disaster. And having had my own family member Baker Acted and represented at this point about 500 other families whose loved ones have been Baker Acted, I think I come to you hopefully with a little bit of knowledge to share with you. So if you want to talk about how to get your loved one help, whether it's through the Marchman Act or the guardianship or a combination of both, then that's a conversation we want to have with you. If you're going to rely on the Baker Act, and by the way, if you call the police and they come over, how do you know they're going to take your loved one? They don't have to. The statute says they have discretion, and maybe they don't feel like taking them. Maybe the police are so sick and tired of coming over to the house and Baker Acting the loved one that this time they say, you know what? We're done. We're simply not going to be, we're not a taxi service. We're not social workers. We're not going to take him. She's your problem. He's your problem. You see where I'm going with this? And so if you want to have a conversation about how we can really help your loved one, then reach out to us. You can speak to my team, Rachel and Brittany. If you need a consult with me, they'll schedule one. Or if it's not with me, it'll be with one of the other attorneys in the office. But stop using the Baker Act. Stop using the Baker Act to get your loved one help. It's a Band-Aid on a situation that needs major surgery. Anyway, that's my shtick about the Baker Act. You know it's a passion of mine, and please, thank you for allowing me to share it with you. How's that? And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.